Hi, it's Joe Hodson here, and I'm going to show you how to make a crimp bracelet with a clasp. This is what it looks like finished, and it's a bracelet that's very easy to put on by yourself uh, and take off by yourself. So it's a win-win for everybody. So these are some of the finished ones I've made, and today we're going to make one together. So the first thing you need is some tools. So you'll need pliers that can clip. You need pliers that can hold, and you need stub nose pliers for doing jump ring work and earring work. You also need stringing, or what I call bead-along, but I don't buy the bead-along brand anymore. I buy fishing wire at Walmart. So the first thing you really need to do is assemble all your items. I've got a bead board. I have a few jump rings here, and I have crimps, and I'll show you what a crimp does in just a second. So the first thing I have to do is measure. So if you're making a bracelet for somebody, you should measure. After a while, you kind of get used to, knowing how much of a bracelet to make, but usually measure and make the measurement a little loose. So this is like approximately 9 inches. So when I look at my bead board has numbers on it, and I usually make the bracelet to go to the 5 and 5 on either side, which is really around 10 inches, but give or take a bit. So the first thing you do is you lay out your beads in a design that you think looks nice. You get your clasps together and just your beading. So hang on. And what you need to do is take enough wire for 10 inches, but I always make an overlap. So I always do around 12 inches. And then you cut it with the pliers that have the cutting edge. And then what I do is I put on my magnifying glasses because this is very tiny work. And I have a magnification lens here. And the first thing you do is you take the crimp, and they're very, very tiny. And I'm dropping them all over the place. There we go. Takes a bit. Okay, so I put it on the wire. And then I go to my clasp. I put that through. I loop it over. So I loop this over. Just leave that there. The jump ring needs to be tightened. So I have to tighten the jump ring on the actual clasp. Okay. And I go back to my wire. And I do the same thing. I loop it over, push it through. So they line up together like this. And there's the clasp. I get the pliers that have the flat edges on it. And then that's when I crimp and I press the actual crimp. So now it becomes flat and I can put the beads on the bracelet. So I'm stringing the beads on the wire, and I'm almost at the end. So I've had a design where I use a filler, gold bead, then 3 beads and a filler, 3 beads and a filler, 3 beads and a filler, 3 beads and spacer, filler, the last bead and the spacer. So now I have quite a bit to work with to flip over. So what I do now is I make sure I have the right pattern and it's consistent. Then I take the clasp or the crimp, I put it back on. I get the other side of the clasp and I bring it through, and then you just gently pull. You gently pull it so it's pretty tight. And this is when I basically remeasure to make sure that the actual measurement is more or less close to what I wanted, which was 9 inches. So I measure it, and it's basically 9 and just a bit. I know this is for me, so I'm also going to, I haven't crimped it yet, so I also want to make sure that it's going to fit, and I know it's going to fit perfectly. So I pull this again and tighten it up. So there's the crimp. I take my flat pliers and I squeeze down on the crimp. Sometimes if you push it like this, make sure it's flat. Sometimes I flip it over and do the other side. Okay, perfect. And then here's the end of the wire. So I just feed this back until it comes out naturally, just to give the bracelet more strength. Hang on, I need to see this properly. There we go. And sometimes it doesn't want to. So I'll do it this way. It came out there. So I get the pliers and I cut off the end of the wire. I cut off the end of the wire at the other end as well after I've fed it through a couple of beads. And here we go. And here is the bracelet. So you just put them on like this. Pull it through. And there you have a crimp bracelet for gifts or for yourself. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to know where to get some of these supplies, Michael's Craft Store has a lot of them. You can get things on Amazon. But with Amazon, be sure to look at the people's reviews and see what people are saying before you order something, because quite often the bead sets are a lot less than they look. But these are examples of some of the beads I've bought at Michael's. And these ones were ones I bought online. So I made a few bracelets. And I've also redone a few too that have since, I've worn them so much that I had to redo some of them. Now this is a different type of bracelet. It's made with elastic wire or elastic wire. And I don't make a lot of these because I find these ones to be a lot more fancy, and you can wear them either, you know, dress up or to work. So these are more basic. And if you need more assistance, there's always good YouTubes on how to make jewelry and bracelets and such. Okay, thank you very much.